Mary Sinclair's quote. It was education that got us here, and it's education that will help us through this. The aim of our program is threefold. We sign an enhancement agreement. This is our second enhancement agreement that we signed. There are 5-year agreements between our bands and our Aboriginal organizations and communities. And we have 3 goals in our enhancement agreement. The second one we signed in June on National Aboriginal Day, June 21st in 2016, and that'll be in place for until 2021. And the 3 goals that we have are improve the sense of well-being of all Aboriginal students. The second goal, all students will increase awareness and understanding of local Aboriginal histories and culture. And the third goal is to improve the academic success and graduation rate of all Aboriginal students. So we look at it holistically. Our program is meeting the needs of our Aboriginal students. We did an after-school program in high school at North Peace, senior secondary, grades 10 to 12, and we had a program called Learning from Our Elders, because we were finding our students were not being engaged. Some of them were not being engaged in their learning, and so then we did what we call a BA course. It's a board authority approved course that was worth 4 credits for the students, and we would have elders come in and they would talk and teach the students. We did loom beading, we did the history of the community, and we did cultural camp and many other things, and so they became engaged, and it was so successful that this year we're running a class of learning through our elders in this next semester. So it's going to be a very exciting time, and we here at the Aboriginal Education Centre will play an integral role in supporting the teacher. So. For me, Indigenous education has to be not just in the classroom, it has to be on the land, it has to be connected to the world, like a worldview perspective, and with respect, and understanding that Indigenous worldview encompasses all. It's not just one-sided. We were looking at this afternoon about looking at curriculum, and there's pressure on us from the educators to help with resources, and so it should be. That's part of our role, and it's Indigenous education has to come from the resources have to come from the Indigenous people. It's about time that we learned about our history, our Canadian history. It seems to be all right that our students know more about Egypt and pyramids, but it's getting now. So yes, we need to know more about our own history. Our achievement gap between Aboriginal non-Aboriginal students, which we want to be less, is at 11%. From the 24% that was reported a year ago. So we want that gap to be smaller. And so our gap is closing, and that's what we want, our Aboriginal students to be on par, and if not better than their non-Aboriginal peers. Where there was all these women that did first, the first woman lawyer, the first woman that sat in government, in an MLA position. The first, we have still so many firsts to do as Indigenous people nationally, that we need to surpass grade 12. We need to, fight for our people and their rights. We need appropriate, culturally appropriate resources. We're very unique on the northeast of northeastern BC, where we sit on Dene's territory, traditional territory, and within Treaty 8. But because we're in BC, our curriculum is infused in a lot in the West Coast resources. So we deal a lot with families and having the right resource people, having the right resources in regards to teaching material is important. And I think probably the most important would be people coming with open minds and hearts to receive what's the BC curriculum, and helping support each other.